Alright, what's good everybody? It's your boy Akeen and welcome to this morning's blogs. Here to start off with the South Division of the Pac-12 Conference. Going to give you previews of the 6 teams. Starting with the Arizona Cardinals. Last season the team went 7-6 overall under head coach Rich Rodriguez, who is entering his 5th season. Now the numbers dropped drastically on both sides of the field, which was a major disappointment because I did have high hopes last season for the Arizona Wildcats because of the return of key players. But the players' numbers did drop a lot this past season, starting with quarterback Anu Solomon. Now, as far as his touchdown interception ratio, he did have 20 touchdown passes to just 5 picks, but just over 2,600 yards through the air. Compared to 2014, he had over 3,700 yards passing, 28 touchdown passes, and 8 interceptions. So their numbers dropped a lot more than I expected. And they also had a good running back in Nick Wilson, who in 2014 himself had 1,375 yards on the ground, 16 rushing touchdowns, compared to this past season where the numbers actually was cut in half with 725 yards on the ground and 8 rushing touchdowns. So he needs to step it up this year. Now, yes, he was MIA in some matches, and Jarrett Baker did take over the helm as the starting running back for some of those games. So these two players can definitely possibly do a little bit of a tandem here, but Nick Wilson is losing it. He needs to step it up again, what he did in 2014. Now, as far as the receiving core, they are going to be missing out on their key players, and Caleb Jones, who's the #1 target with over 900 yards receiving. He's playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. They lost Johnny Jackson as well as Dave Richards. So Nate Phillips, Samaje Grant, and one player in particular at receiver that I'm looking at is Trey Griffey, the senior. He's 6'3", 209 pounds. Shows that he does have the size, but let's see if he has the ability, and hopefully he can step it up this year. Now, defensively, Scooby Wright III was pretty much not a factor much this season on the defensive unit, dealing with injuries, and he actually decided to forego his senior season to join the NFL. He's with the Cleveland Browns. But he was a Defensive Player of the Year winner in 2014, National Defensive Player of the Year winner. He had a tremendous season, but it wasn't the same guy we saw in 2015 this past year, and it was a major disappointment. The defense overall was a disappointment. They lacked pass rushers, they lacked playmakers in the secondary. They did not have any much spark, but they did pick up a new coordinator in Marcel Yates, so hopefully he could turn things around in the defensive unit. Now, a couple players who's going to have to step it up. Justin Belknap, the defensive tackle. Defensive end Luca Bruno. They're going to have to show me a little something this past season. Now, last year, their leading sack leader was Reggie Gilbert, who's no longer with the team as well, and he only had 4 sacks himself. So one of these two defensive linemen, please, just show me a little something this year. Now, as far as the secondary, Devontae Neal, he is one of their best players at cornerback. He did get some pass breakups and only 1 interception. I just need to see more playmaking skills coming out of Devontae this season. Now, taking a look at their schedule, pretty much the same what we saw last season as far as dealing with the Pac-12 South. You have to deal with USC, UCLA, Utah. I think they have Stanford this year. It's a little bit of a scare this season, and they do open up this season on September 3rd against a good BYU team. So they are going to be tested at the beginning of the season. Now, I believe their offense is going to be just fine. I think they're going to get back to what we saw in 2014. It's the defense that I'm really concerned about. And because of that, I think this team is going to go 6-6 again for this season, 7-5 at best. I just way too many question marks in the defensive unit. So I think I have to go split all the way through. It was 6-6, 7-5 at best. Now, the next time I'm going to catch you guys will be in a couple minutes. I have 2 more blogs for this morning. Thank you for watching this blog. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.